Yesterday, we had our kickoff at the Advent season. We had a church potluck, and I ate a hard boiled egg, and I was completely content. At the beginning of July, I reluctantly started eating the carnivore way of eating. I had heard about the carnivore diet, but knew I could not follow that way of eating. There was something in the pit of my stomach that said, no, you have to give this way of eating a go. And now, 5 months later, I am carnivore. Oh, and may I say, I am down 5 clothing sizes. Let me take a step back. In 1990, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. I started my journey eating extremely healthy, so I thought. Along the way, I started reading and following Doctor's Wall protocol suggestions of eating certain vegetables and 9 cups of those vegetables a day. The joke is I am unable to run a marathon, and yet I was making my gut do a marathon digesting all of kale, olive oil, and many seeds. Plus, obviously, I was slowly creeping up in weight, mainly because I was unable to move physically around. When I realized digestion was challenging, I juiced all those vegetables. We live on a hobby farm. I did not mind feeding the pulp from the vegetables to the animals in the barn. Even though I was not digesting the vegetables, I still felt heavy and foggy in my head and tired. We joked that our pig was a vegetarian pig. Along came June 2023. My bus driver was taking me to my English class. On the way there, we had a great discussion about him being carnivore. He told me how he went to a buffet on the weekend and just ate a variety of beef and other meat. I could only imagine his unappealing plate with brown meat on it. Yet when I returned home that night, I thought, let's go carnivore, at least for a little time. Oh yeah, back to my story about the church potluck. 2 things struck me about the evening and was in direct connection to eating carnivore. First, I was able to focus and concentrate. I was catching up with the younger crowd. Many were introducing me to their fiancés or conversing about where they were at with jobs, houses, and festive plans. I marveled how I was truly engaged in their comments. My mind did not wander, and also I was able to ask relevant questions to their comments. Because this surprised me, I realized I had not been in a brain fog. Secondly, the hard boiled egg. Potlucks are breeding grounds for carnivore disaster. Cheesy noodle casseroles, kale, lettuce, oil, and vinegar, and cream salads, along with jello molds, are the rage of potlucks. I chose to eat a hard boiled egg. We call them deviled eggs. I knew there would be a slight amount of mayonnaise, and knowing that mayonnaise is eggs, I was okay with that. As people sat around me, I watched them dive into their rice casseroles and was surprised. I felt no desire to eat anything on their plate. Not only that, I was satiated. That's such a hard word to say. Satiated. I was not hungry. For lunch, I had eaten a bunch of chicken. That was many hours ago. The people around me were more distraught that I didn't eat any food. But I truly was not hungry. I was extremely engaged in the conversations we were having. It was a great opportunity for me to tell people that I am carnivore. They were curious about my new method of eating. However, they could not fault me on eating meat. I had an extremely pleasant disposition and a healthy complexion. If I can survive going to a church potluck, I foresee myself going further on the carnivore journey. In reality, I felt saddened for all the people eating all that other food, than me sitting there with a deviled egg on my plate at the church potluck. I hinted in the story that I have lost 5 clothing sizes. I have not stepped on the scale, so I really have no idea if how much weight I have lost. Watch my next video to discuss when I share about the other benefits I have found on the carnivore diet, or as I say, the carnivore way of eating.